afterwards because it was always me. Okay, everyone, we are live and welcome to the seventh episode of Share Session series. I'm host moderator Kat Yong from the Blog Healthier Set, and today I am without my co-host and moderator Woon Mei, the life coach, but that's okay because I have two equally able and articulate ladies who can help me unravel happiness. Right. So briefly about Marilyn and Sabrina. Maybe you can kick things off with introduce yourself.
Right. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me today on your session. And I'm happy to share on the topic of happiness. So I'm Sabrina Lu. I actually initiated and run the Action for Happiness for Malaysia. Action for Happiness is a movement of people committed in building a happier and caring society. It is a charity-based organization in England. I also actually bring health and wellness into my workplace, into the office. Hence, I'm also known as the Chief of Happiness Officer at my workplace. And it is always my passion to create awareness on the subject of happiness and also spreading it to the people that I meet and the people that I talk to. Hence, I think that's why I was invited to your talk today, Kat. And besides the items that I've just mentioned, I have also been, I did run a team bonding activities as well based on happiness, and one that I did quite recently as well before the pandemic, that is, was for the Dutch Business Council team members as well. So yeah, so basically I always like to talk about happiness. So yes.
Yes, and I can tell because you're always smiling. And this is possible today because of Marilyn. Marilyn, we I we have worked together with her before when she did her active reflection workshop online. So Marilyn, please introduce yourself. You're a corporate trainer. What do you do? What else do you do?
Sure. Thanks, Kat, for having me again. Always great fun to be here with you. After all, when people do research about happiness, it's all about connection and relationships. So about me, I'm Marilyn. I'm a corporate trainer. And what I find is, although I'm not any expert in the area of happiness, I was working with Sabrina on the Action for Happiness Malaysia project just back a year or two ago before the whole pandemic. So I thought it would be very nice to have her here to share her expertise on happiness, the little things that we can do. And I myself learned a lot on that journey. I'm also here because, as a corporate trainer, we work with a lot of people at work. And I think in the long term, what happens if all these young people who we train and we work with, they always encounter stress at work, so it's important, happiness as a topic, mental well-being. And as long as we can find our little ways to grab hold of the topic in our own ways, we are good to go.
Yeah. And with that, let's dive in straight to the topic at hand. The title is Happiness. What the heck is it? So maybe to fine tune it a little bit more, I actually thought up of the question, a feeling, or is it a destination, or is it a journey? What do you ladies think? Maybe Sabrina, you can start.
Sure. Well, many actually has asked what is happiness. To me, in my opinion, it is a feeling of joy, obviously, satisfaction. You are actually at ease. Your body is, of course, relaxed and not tense when you are happy. You smile, not just on the outer, but from inner as well. Your eyes smile as well, because if you notice, not just when someone is happy from deep inside, you don't just, besides your lips, showing the smile, but rather you can also tell whether that person is happy or otherwise based on their looks and from their eyes. You can see their eyes sparkle and smile. So it's reflecting in that sense. And to me, happiness, it's a state of mind. It's a mindset. And you are the one, you have full control. Every individual of ourselves, we have full control to make ourselves happy, to determine what happiness is. And it is not necessarily like, where happiness means that, you're always like one person, someone who is always like laughing aloud, or like, I mean, of course, you may have a smiley, I mean, a face that always smile and things, but not necessarily that, that person, I mean, happiness is like, you have to be 24/7 smiling and laughing all the time. Then, yeah, exactly. I mean, then if you're doing that, I mean, then people maybe will call you crazy or something. It's like, I mean,
Yeah,
this
happiness
is too
doesn't
long.
have to be noisy. Yeah, it can be quiet
Yeah.
as well. Just a simple
Yeah.
smile, just a
So it
feeling
is
in your
actually
heart.
correct. Yes, it is. It's deep inside you. It is your satisfaction of how you feel inside, and when you are happy, basically automatically you have better health, well-being, in terms of your physical health as well, and mental health. And
Yeah.
obviously, there's always a long-term or short-term kind of happiness.
Reasons to be happy, maybe. Yeah, because somebody has, a person has their health, a person has like good things around them, surrounded by I don't know, anything that makes them happy. Like for example, myself, I find that when I after a bout of exercise, when I'm sweating, after doing an activity, I actually feel happy. I feel as though there is like a strain. I may be undergoing a strain, but always after exercise, I feel the pressure released. The pressure is gone. Another thing that makes me happy is music. I don't know, just
Me
great
too.
sounding music. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, just playing that music, and whether it's singing, are you happy because you sing, or you sing because you're happy? Yeah. And do you create because you're happy, or you're happy because you create?
So actually, to me, happiness, I mean, there is an internal and external, short term and long term. So let me just give you some insights of what I meant by that. So short term happiness is actually things that we gain through material. And for instance, like, people like to go shopping, or like buying and, eating something good, like a plate of a nice, something nice that you enjoy, or cake, or your coffee, and even buying a pair of nice shoes, or your watch or something, and bags. So it brings you happiness, yes. I mean, but you are only happy for a short time, a short duration of time. So, for instance, like maybe, okay, someone wants to has been eyeing for the most expensive, or I mean, the latest model of iPhone or something like that. So obviously, I mean, we are looking forward, to get that iPhone. So you're even willing, to queue, and to pay, the cost of it, and it may not be cheap for some, but you are willing to, because you believe that that is the happiness that you're searching for, right? So you take all the trouble, you even wait for it, and for some, maybe they even like. Uh, they try to save to buy that latest model of the iPhone and things like that, like students, right? And then they queue for it. And then finally, I mean, the day has come. I mean, so it's the launch of the latest model that they have been waiting for. And then you get into queue, and after all the process, you finally got the iPhone that you have been long waiting for, right? So
Sense
you
of
are
accomplishment.
obviously, yeah, yes. So then you are very happy at that moment, because you're like, oh, I achieved, what, something that I've been actually looking forward to, and you're so happy. But how long does it last? Because it's not going to last you 10 years, would it? Because a phone, for instance, I mean, after a couple of months, or let's say just a year later, there'll be a new model, even something better, nicer, and more advanced in terms of technology. And after, okay, maybe you're saying like, okay, I'm still happy with my phone. So after 2 years, 3 years, and then what happened to the phone? I mean, then your phone gets older and older, like a car. I mean, after 5, 10 years of driving your car, at first you buy is, of course, a brand new car, it's tip-top condition, but after some time, 5 years, 10 years for a car, it's getting old, right? And you need to actually probably need to have service, maintenance, and maybe even changing a new car so that it's optimum again, and looks nicer. So those are, I mean, external factors that actually brings you happiness, but short-term, short-lived, right?
Short-lived.
Short-lived, exactly. So the other kind of happiness that it is more reliable, so to speak, in my opinion, reliable, is actually the long-term happiness. But what is the long-term happiness? A lot of people may be asking, like, oh, then what it is? It is actually looking inward, instead of depending on others or depending on an object out there. But basically, it's more on your mindset as well. And you can actually train your mind as well, how you look at things, and to be more positive, to be happier, the happier side of things. And you enjoy every moment of your life or your work, for instance. So that is more on the inner, where you look at things and simple things like that. So when every day, for instance, you get up and simple things like just having a nice cup of coffee, or like, just enjoying reading a book, things like that can really make you happy. And that's it's because of your mindset of how you take things. When you get up in the morning, you say, oh, this is a beautiful morning, it's nice weather, it's sunny, you look out the window, maybe birds are chirping, and etc., etc. So that's from inner.
Yeah. So happiness is a result of acquiring material things, like something we really, really like. It's happiness. We are happy when we get something we really like, right? We get to buy a nice dress or a nice bag or a nice pair of shoes. But it tends to be short term, like you pointed out. But for long term, you are suggesting it's a mindset thing.
It is a mindset, yes. How we train our mind to look at things, right? And it is actually a journey, and definitely not a destination. So as you can see, a lot of quotation these days, you can see that happiness is a journey and not a destination. So it's actually it's every day, when you get up, living your life, going through the daily mundane things, you can find happiness in all sort of things. Speaking to a friend, enjoying a movie or cooking, just simple things every day that you do, not necessary to have the latest iPhone. But I'm not saying that, oh, you don't get the latest iPhone, or I should not get because it's a short-term happiness. No, I mean, you can. It's not something that you should not, So happiness is a combination. You have the long-term and the short-term. But of course, like I said just a moment ago, long-term happiness is something that's it's actually our choice. So, I mean, it's something that we can control, basically, and it's our mindset and how we look at things. For some people, maybe you give them an iPhone. To you, is the happiest thing ever, right? Or diamond for ladies, right? The happiest thing ever. But to someone receiving that diamond who doesn't need it, will be like, yeah, but I'm not that happy. How come? I mean, I thought this is a happy object, right? When I get it, but I don't feel that happiness. So it's actually the inner self. Yeah.
Okay.
Shopping makes me happy.
Same here.
I wouldn't mind that diamond or
Yeah, but I'm just an example. I'm not saying that maybe you give 10 out of 10 people will be happy because they're receiving a diamond, right? Because everybody, oh, it's so precious, it's so beautiful and things like that. But what I'm trying to say, like, for instance, like if you are giving a diamond to somebody who's sick, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Then to the sick, maybe to the sick person, maybe you say that, okay, maybe I can exchange it for some cash so that it can help me to pay medical bills, for instance, or get medicine or whatever. But it's that object itself doesn't make you happy.
Okay, so you have been suggesting that happiness can be a result of how we approach things, how we view, how we perceive situations around us. But can we also do things to make ourselves happy?
Yes, definitely. And happiness is actually for everyone. And I've actually also heard some people they will say, because if I mention happiness to some people, and some of the feedbacks I get is like, oh, happiness. Well, I don't need that. I'm not depressed. I'm happy. I'm not ill, mentally ill, or anything like that. Or they think like, oh, I'm not. It's like because to some people they think like if they attend something that's in the topic of happiness, means that they are depressed, means that they are sad, means that they have some maybe mental issues. But actually, that's not it. I mean, to me, it is actually a mental gym. It is an exercise for your mind. So basically, everybody goes to the gym for your physical body, right? I mean, it's not that when you are sick, then you go to the gym. In fact, if you are sick, the doctor will say, oh, you have to stay home, you have to rest until you recover before you do any strenuous exercise and things like that. So this is similar. To me, the mind needs exercise as well. So we need this mental gym to actually keep our state of mind healthy. So that's the well-being, healthy and happy as well. And that actually trickles down to, we then become more effective or productive in our work. We are happier. Our friends also can feel our energy and they like being with us. We automatically attract more people to be with us or like to talk to us as well. We also actually gradually get benefits of being healthier as well. You eat healthier. You tend to, also feel less fatigue, look better as well. All these things as subtle benefits, which is the effect of happiness when you are actually having the right mindset.
Okay. I have a question for both of you because both of you seem like very happy people, smiling and then laughing, just overall happy. Okay, but are you positive first before you become happy, or are you happy because you're positive? Are you
Positive before you're happy, is it?
positive before you're happy, or are you happy and then positive?
That's a challenging question. I've never thought about that before. I think I like what Sabrina said about happiness being a perception, right? Because it's that perception of how you see things. So for me, I've never thought about it as a positivity, but it's more like the perception that I have the opportunity to learn and grow, the opportunity to be creative, the opportunity to express myself. So, and when I think about that in terms of a positive mindset, then that makes me happy. So did I answer your question? I'm not sure. What do you think, Sabrina?
Well, to me, it's actually, it goes hand in hand, I think. But definitely, of course, if you are positive, I mean, then you are happy. It also creates confidence level. It actually works hand in hand. So it is equally important. You can be happy and then positive, or positive and then happy. I think it doesn't really matter whether which way, but when you are happy, you're definitely not sad, then you are positive in that sense. So to me, I think, I mean, there is no rather any specific sequence, but it works hand in hand. So whichever comes first for you, for every individual is different. But both, it is actually good to have. I mean, to be positive, and then naturally it will also lead you to be happy. And when you're happy, you're also positive, because unlikely you are negative. Someone is negative and happy. I mean, again, depending how or what kind of things that people are looking into, but basically having a right mindset should be positive, actually, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, I think it's an awareness. So I think I remember a friend spoke to me a few weeks ago or months ago, and she said, I don't have to be happy all the time. And her perception was happiness is bouncing about, just jumping around, being ecstatic. But that's really not what we're after, right? Happiness is just that being able to appreciate the little exuberance, the little joys in life.
The satisfaction, yes.
Yes. Like that little happiness when you go in for a meeting and you're the first one there, or like little silly joys like that. Yeah, that you got the last slice of cake in the fridge. Just little things that make you grin.
Some people I know would define happiness as being contented with life, and being contented with their lot in life and what they have achieved so far. So yeah, different people have different perception. As long as generally positive. Generally, being positive is being happy. Yeah. So actions for happiness. That's the reason why I actually asked you the question about um, do we do things to be happy? Because the organization itself, the name of the organization itself, Actions for Happiness, suggests that besides our approach or how we perceive situations around us, we can even do things to become happy. You know? So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, like I mentioned, I mean, happiness is a mindset that you actually can train, regardless, where you're from, or who you are and things like that, or even how your childhood is, or whatever background that is. You can actually train your mind, just like in education. You can train. I mean, if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, and so on and so forth. Of course, there is an effort. A lot of people say, "Oh, what, how come I'm not happy yet?" I mean, definitely there are some, you can train your mind to do so, but definitely you also need to put some effort into it. And coming back to your question earlier, Kat, so training your mind, of course, with external things and actions that you put into your daily life helps you, and that creates the habit as well. So, for instance, like because sometimes we are so used to doing certain things, but after some time we don't realize that it's actually draining our energy. For instance, I mean these days, of course, a lot of us are actually with your computers, on your handphone, your iPad, long hours. So, I mean, because for work, I mean, you have to, right? For work, and then of course for some entertainment as well and things. Of course, life needs to be a balance as well to be happy. So life is a balance, work-life integration and balance as well. So you need all these things, that you are actually facing, and then if you go to work, then you faced with a traffic jam, and this is daily. I mean, everybody goes to work. I mean, those who are who needs to go to an office, they go. I mean, you will be doing that daily. But when you are encountering something that is like traffic jam, it's not very. I mean, it can be pleasant or unpleasant, but that is also how you look at it, right? So by putting simple actions into your daily routine, so like what the calendar. I mean, the Action for Happiness. There is a calendar, monthly calendar, and it gives you suggestions on daily activities that you can do as a first step, that you integrate part of your life to be happy, right? Of course, if you do it once, you may not feel any effect or result. You'll be like, oh, what's that, right? But gradually, I mean, if you are, doing that constantly, and then sooner or later, after some time, you get habituated, and then you find little things happy. So, for instance, like there is also certain days where it says unplug from your phone or something. I mean, just go, unplug. That is, of course, you have to schedule your work. Schedule properly as well, not like, oh, my boss, I know today's a day that I have deadlines with her, unplug. Then that's irresponsible. Then that's a different topic, right? So of course, I mean, maybe you want to choose just over the weekend or on a Sunday or something where that all your work has been taken care, that you don't need to attend, and then okay, you choose that day and you unplug and just enjoy the nature. Go to a garden, enjoy the natural sunlight, go for a little walk at the park, or read a book, look at a butterfly or birds, children running around, or be with the family, things like that. Just unplug for a day. And as much as a lot of people say, no, I can't do that because there's just too many things on my mind. I mean, like I need to check for whatever reason, so I need to see, how's my friend doing? How is this? Yes, as much as a lot of these things are needed in our daily life, but don't forget that our mind also needs a little rest, because even though we sleep at night, but a lot of people as well, they realize that after their sleep and they get up, they don't feel that recharged.
Rested.
In fact, they don't feel rested. Actually, they feel still tired, and this goes on day after day, week after week, month after month, and sooner or later you realize that you are like drained of energy, and you're always not looking forward for things on that positive anymore. You're just like, yes, it's another day, and then you are dreadful. You go to work also like like half asleep kind of thing. Even though you try to when you get home and then you try to sleep, but it's not well rested. It's still very active in your mind. So your mind actually needs the time to recharge, needs the right activities to balance and counter it off with all the daily activities that we do, like being in a traffic jam, or a lot of all the regular things that you do, all your chores, your laundry, whatnot, and whatever it is, and that actually piles up into our mind without us noticing, and you'll be like, we'll be okay, and you just brush it off because I'm just too busy for anything else. Of course, everyone has priorities. So I mean, you have your family or your work to prioritize, to look into, but you need to take some time. I'm not asking you to take like forever. It's just like, or like eating. I mean, everybody needs to eat. You can't say like, oh, okay, let's not eat for a week until I finish my project and then I eat every day for the next 7 days. It doesn't work that way. Every day you need to at least consume something so that your body functions, right? And that's for your physical body. Yeah, so the mind works similarly.
Yeah, so these actions which you suggested, and there's a calendar for it, right? That which your organization actions for happiness has like a prepared, is a resource that where we can go to the website, check it out, where there's actions we can do on a daily basis to kind of like take care of to rest our mind and take care of our wellness.
Correct.
I think for those who do not have this kind of resource, where they actually, they have to actually first be aware that they are tired, and then they have to be aware that, okay, this is time for me to rest. They have to be conscious of that feeling first. It requires
awareness. Actually, that is also another whole topic into that, where mindfulness and awareness. Whether your mind is full, F-U-L-L, full, too full for other new things, you are mindful, right? That's different, actually. And awareness. So that is also another two very important essence or things that we need to incorporate into our daily life. And that's easily neglected, or because human beings, we are so used to autopilot. So, for instance, like driving, you know how to get home, you know how to get to the office, or you know how to get to your favorite restaurant, and so on and so forth. And if I were to ask you to now, if you are in your office, you say, okay, can you now just drive home? You'd be like, oh yeah, sure. I mean, I drive home every day. I mean, that's not an issue. And you'll be driving, and then in no time you'll be home. But you are actually on autopilot, because without thinking much, because you're doing it daily so much that you are actually just autopiloting, because you know where home is, and just drive and get home without really aware of the situation. It's all autopilot. But awareness is actually... Yes.
The question which I have for both you ladies, how do you train awareness, or how do you train to be mindful? How do both of you do it?
Well, basically, you watch your mind, actually. You need to be aware of your situation in the present moment, right? So when you are, for instance, like having a lunch, instead of just gulping down and say, yeah, this is my lunch, but you take a moment and just take note of what you are eating, enjoying the taste. And like when I just mentioned, like driving home, when you drive home, you are aware of the surrounding of the situation, because every day different people will be in different cars, will be around you, actually. And it's not the same every day. Yes, you may turn the same junction to right or left, and whichever way, but things that are happening around you are different every single moment. So if you take a moment to just be aware, so basically you are actually watching your mind, being aware. So that's an awareness that you need to actually put some effort to take note. So that's really awareness, and it's like a training that you actually do on a daily basis, and after some time, it's automatically, so to speak. It becomes habitual that you are actually aware already. It's part of you.
That's the mindfulness. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kat.
Yeah.
I have met people who are, I don't know, they're just naturally mindful, and they take note of, and they are very aware of their surroundings. That comes naturally for them. I think it's because since young, they've been trained, and it has become a habit for them. But
Yeah,
for
and
some,
awareness, mindful awareness, it's both.
I think it's also tuning into your emotions, just having those emotions give you the right feedback, having that ability to just assess how come you feel that way, what made you feel that way. And the more attuned you are to receiving those messages, then you can dig deeper to find out how you can overcome those.
yes. I remember doing that for your work, active
For the Set
reflection.
Yourself Free workshop, yes, which I'm hoping to run again in May. So set yourself free. I was going to say the resource that we mentioned, the calendar, it's actually free for everybody. So as much as possible, do share the word. We hope that everyone accesses calendar. I get a little thrill. I used to do it and send it to groups every month on WhatsApp, and I would get the amount of gratitude I get from it because they're colorful. But I stopped doing it because I also want to put across the message that, it's for you to access yourself. You can seek it and you proactively tune yourself to finding those little actions.
Awesome. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's more than just the calendar. There's even a mobile app, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So the app actually is similarly to actually what you see on the Facebook as well. So actually, for those who are interested, you can actually log on to Action for Happiness. And then, of course, there is the Malaysian Action for Happiness Malaysia on Facebook as well. That's the one that we are actually running it for Malaysia. And the main content actually all comes from the main page of Action for Happiness. So daily, monthly, you actually get a calendar that suggests, and every month has a different theme. So for April, it can be active month. For May, it will be a different month, stress-free month, and so on and so forth. There are many things. For instance, like applying, being kinder to oneself and others as well is also one other element that actually that you can do in a part of happiness journey as well. I mean, there are so many things in this topic that we can actually go into, but I'm not going to go too much into too many areas as well. And the app will be something that you can actually download, and daily will send you the daily reminders for the day. What are the tips that you can use and do, and on and off also some other posts as well. So that's from the app. So if you are those who are interested, actually can follow the Facebook Action for Happiness Malaysia. And on my page, those who would like to get in touch with me, let's say, you can also look for the Happiness Project that is on Facebook as well. So you can reach me there, either the Action for Happiness Malaysia or Happiness Project that is linked to this Action for Happiness Malaysia. So actually, there you can reach me. And then, yes.
I was going to ask you, but later, what is your vision for the Happiness Project? And also, I wanted to chip in that on the Action for Happiness page, there are some really, really great speakers from all over the world that the director, Mark Williamson, has interviewed. I really enjoy watching those precious interviews, like people like Daniel Goleman, the guru of emotional intelligence. There was a guy called Chude Jideonwu. Just little
definitely,
nuggets of
yes. Action for Happiness, I mean, have time to time, they have actually invited various speakers, international renowned authors and stuff like that to come onto Action for Happiness and speak on various topics as well. So it's quite interesting as well from there. Yes, so you can actually tune in and look out for the subjects and topics that you are interested in.
Okay. What's your long-term plan for happiness or even happiness projects?
I actually, like I mentioned at the initial of this, when we started today's session, happiness is my passion. Basically, I always like to spread and share and create happiness for greater good as well. I like to spread so that it can actually make the world actually a better place. When one is happy, it actually spreads out to your family and friends, then to a larger group, to your co-workers, to your people in the office, to your community. And there are a lot of things where we actually integrate, where there is all the things that we mentioned, like kindness, awareness, mindful, and things like that we incorporate. And there's a few things that I would like to share as some tips as well, how to be happy, because maybe some are maybe interested also to know. So one of the things is, as we mentioned, is mindfulness is something definitely we can look into. Emotional intelligence is also another thing where we need to apply it so that we don't jump into conclusions and and get upset easily. Gratitude and thankfulness is definitely one big area that is very important. When we don't appreciate little things in life, we are always not satisfied. And when you're not satisfied, therefore you're not happy. And happiness, actually, it's being in the present moment, as again I mentioned that just a moment ago as well. And for some people, they can also keep like a journal or a diary, you call it, on every day. They can actually write something what they're thankful for, their being gratitude. So whatever it is, very important is when you are thankful for the things that you have, for the people, for your friends that are there for you, and being gratitude. That helps to change one's mindset to be more happy, and definitely you see the changes. It may not take like the next moment or the next day, because for some people maybe they are a little bit not that patient, and they will be like, oh, how come I don't see? I wrote that yesterday, but I don't see anything yet, or even tomorrow after a week. But gradually you can see changes that will happen, and gradually you'll be more happy. And there's actually much more I can dive into and share more if there are people interested to know more on the different things that I've mentioned, and I'll be happy to do that for sure.
Marilyn, any thoughts?
Nice tips. Yeah. No, the gratitude journal is in here for me, but really it's the power of language, right? It's what you tell yourself. No, on my side, I just wanted to share 4 simple words I picked up from the book, The Happiness Equation. Paresha. He also has a forum where he asks for 1,000 awesome tips, and it's really fun to look at his posts to see the little things that people get happy over when your dog licks you, just little stuff like that. But I picked up from page 39 4 simple words that block all criticism. It's do it for you. And I found that very simple but very powerful, because a lot of times in this modern world, we are so busy trying to please other people. We're trying to live up to their expectations of who we should be, and we tend to do things so that others can see who we are, or we do it for them, but we don't often think to do things for ourselves.
And yeah, so if you have nothing else to share, maybe I can wrap things up now.
Sure.
So I myself am actually a mindfulness practitioner. And I actually have a mindfulness guru who in a way is also my happiness coach, right? And I consider him a very, very wise man. And he pointed out something to me. In fact, just yesterday, he's said it many times before, but it was like, it always goes over my head because, not really paying attention. But yesterday when he said it, it really struck me. And because the question he asked was this: there was a room full of us. There was a room and a group of us in that room. He asked all of us, have you been happy before? All of us were silent. We thought it was a trick question. No, it's not. Sure enough, yes. So the answer is yes, we have been happy before. So the thing is that all of us actually have capacity to be happy. It's something.
And everyone, happiness is for everyone. Everyone wants to be happy.
For everyone.
Regardless of gender, anyone. You ask anybody out there on the street.
Yes.
Well, I mean, maybe there will be, I come across maybe one or two person will be like, no, I don't want to be so happy. Okay, that's another story. But generally, I mean, basically, all human beings, we all seek for happiness. Even animals, cats, dogs. I mean, you know, you
Yes.
pet them, you give them a lovely dog food or cat food. You know, they also want to be happy. So happiness for everyone, and it is a choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
everyone
all had it as children, right? We all understood joy, and then
Yeah,
we just forgot how to remember it.
absolutely. So think about it. We all were actually born with. We're all actually born with happiness being within us already. We naturally actually have it, right? And we have been happy before. So why do we not protect it?
So
Why
it's a
when
matter
we
of
find
how.
ourselves, yes, why when we find ourselves in negative situations, for example, we immerse ourselves in it instead of walking away. Most of the time, we maybe it's human nature. We like to gossip, we like to pakwa, so we stay in the negative situation and we continue talking about and we immerse ourselves in the negativity. So these are the little things which we do, whereby we are not protecting the happiness. We're not protecting the happiness within ourselves, within our hearts, and we're allowing it to be overwhelmed by negativity. So yeah, basically something to think
Again, it's
about.
the awareness, exactly, because we also tend to fall into our daily pattern that we forget actually oneself about happiness. You know, we just get engrossed into something so much that we lose the happiness without knowing, without realizing.
Yes. Or I like to think of it as we didn't lose the happiness, but we allow the negativity to overwhelm it and dim the light.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
happiness.
Do you notice that people normally, if there's one bad thing and 9 good things, you will always remember that one bad thing. So, oh, you know, that person has said this to me, or like, you know, you're just catching on about that one bad thing that happened to you, and you forgot
Yeah.
about the 9 good things that actually happened to you. Instead, you should be counting the good things, you know. But human beings are such that we tend to like, you know, that bad thing, even if it's just one.
Yes.
But that's how, when we are not aware, we tend to do that. We'll be, you know, so frustrated over that one thing that has happened even a long time ago. We still remember, last month, last year, whatever. So that's the bad habit which we need to take note and you know, get rid of.
Yeah. So this is where mindfulness plays a role, where we are aware of like the situation which we're in, make the conscious decision to walk away from it. I mean, we're all humans at the end of the day. We're not perfect. If we feel angry, go ahead, feel angry. If we feel
For sure.
ego or pride, allow ourselves to feel it because we are humans. We have emotions, but the thing is, these emotions are transitionary. They're not permanent. When we feel the anger, and then after that, we are just done with it and walk away from it. Walk away from the negativity, and protect the happiness within all of us. And basically, that's it. That's the main takeaway which I took from you ladies and also from my happiness coach. And with that, yes, we end. We can almost
Thank you,
end right
Kat.
now.
Thank you
But
so
Thank
much,
you, ladies,
ladies.
for being protectors of happiness,
protectors of happiness, yes, that's a nice way of putting it. But
guardians. Yeah.
before we truly end, Sabrina, we've got
No, it's the
yeah,
challenge.
the challenge, right? So you know how this top platform is called Share Session Series, right? And it's a bit of a tongue,
Okay, right.
right? So
All
imagine if
right.
you say it 5 times really fast.
You mean the share session?
Share
5 times?
Session Series 5 times. If
Oh,
you want to,
okay.
if you want to slow the tempo, we can, but then it will have to be 10 times. But if you do it really fast 5 times, yes,
Okay.
Marilyn, it's become a bit
How
harder.
Are
fast is
you
your fast?
joining us,
Okay.
Kat? Are you doing it
Yes,
with us?
I'm always
Okay.
Okay.
doing
Okay.
Okay,
Because
so we're
I don't know
doing
what the
fast or
speed.
slow,
So okay, fast
okay.
maybe. Okay.
or we could do it to
The
rhythm.
rhythm.
Yeah, or
Who's
like
going?
the share session series. Share, right? Might be easier.
Okay. I think you ladies take it first because yeah, I don't know.
Gonna follow Marilyn's
Sabrina's a
lead.
singer, by the way.
Sorry.
Sabrina's a singer, by the way.
Okay. So Marilyn, can you help us set the tempo?
Okay. Do you want to do it rhythmic or just okay? Let's do it with the a
10
bit of
times.
pizzazz. Okay, so we're gonna do it
Okay.
5, right? 5 times.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 times is
Okay,
good.
so I'll do the first one and then you just repeat. Okay, and then we'll
Okay.
catch
Okay.
on together. Okay, 3, 2,
Oh, okay.
1. The share session series. Share session series. Share session series. Share session series.
How many times now?
I didn't count.
Okay, I
But
lost
anyway,
count.
thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for being so sporting and be protectors of our happiness, everyone. With that, bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Kat.
you.